Hello and welcome to my new video, what you need to know before you travel to Bosnia and Herzegovina. Bosnia might not be the first country that comes up to your mind like when you're looking for a new travel destination. In fact, Bosnia has a lot to offer. It has a rich cultural heritage, breathtaking nature, super friendly people, adorable towns and just amazing places to see. To encourage more people to travel Bosnia, I put together a list of what you need to know before you visit Bosnia and Herzegovina. Please also don't forget to check out my blog, because there you will find more tips for traveling Bosnia and Herzegovina. If you are an Africa lover, then please don't forget to check out my Etsy shop as well as my Facebook page, because I got a shop and a page for contemporary African fashion and accessories, like for instance this jacket. So I will put the link below in the video description and you check it out, hey? Before we start, make sure you hit the subscribe button to see more travel advice videos like this one. Now I want to talk about how to get to Bosnia and Herzegovina. There's different options. For instance, you can get to Bosnia by rental car. We got a rental car in Dubrovnik in Croatia and crossed into Bosnia from there. You can of course also get a rental car in Serbia and Montenegro, but you must make sure that you are allowed to cross into Bosnia, because not every car rental company allows that. So make sure in advance you are allowed to take the car to Bosnia. Another option to get to Bosnia is of course by plane. I listed all the cities and towns in Bosnia that have an airport. Of course you can also fly into Croatia, or Serbia or Montenegro and then cross into Bosnia from there. Another option how to get to Bosnia is by bus. There is buses going from Serbia, Montenegro as well as Croatia. In the video description I put a link or two links of companies that I recommend to check out buses and bus connections. Yeah, and another thing that I would like you to consider is before you book your tickets, please make sure or check if your nationality requires a visa. You can find more information about visas under my bullet visa. How to get around in Bosnia and Herzegovina. Unfortunately, the public transport system in Bosnia isn't as good as in like other European countries. However, there are still a few good options of how to get around in Bosnia. For instance, there are buses going, there is bus connections between the bigger cities, and for the getting around or getting around within the smaller cities, just ask the locals which buses are available and where the buses are departing from. Another option of how to get around in Bosnia is by rental car. That's what we did, which was great for, you know, like getting to the rural areas and just being on ourselves and deciding when we want to go, where we want to go, whatever. You can of course also hitchhike. We saw many locals as well as tourists doing that. So if you're cool to hitchhike, you should definitely give it a go. And what is also great to do in Bosnia is getting around by train. The most scenic route is probably the one from Sarajevo to Mostar. Which trains and also which buses are available and which websites you can use to check that out, I put links in the video description, so yeah, check it out. What is the best time to visit Bosnia and Herzegovina? What is the climate like in Bosnia and Herzegovina? Weather-wise, the country can be divided into different parts. The southern part of Bosnia, including the coastal stretch as well as the area around Mostar, has more of a Mediterranean climate. That means the summers are like hot and dry, the winters are mild and rainy. The northern part of Bosnia has more of an intercontinental climate, which means the winters are super cold, the summers are warm. The rest of Bosnia is usually colder due to mountains and hills. Depending on the altitude of the town that you are visiting, the temperatures are much colder. So what is now the best time to visit Bosnia and Herzegovina? We visited Bosnia in May, which was perfect. The temperatures were super nice. We had a few rainy days, but it was not a problem at all. So I found that visiting in May, June, or like September, October is the best time if you come for summer holidays, because you're avoiding the hot days and you're also traveling off season. Of course, if you're coming for skiing holidays, then December to March is your best time to travel to Bosnia and Herzegovina. What language is spoken in Bosnia and Herzegovina? Well, Bosnia has 3 official languages, which is Bosnia, Serbia and Croatian. All 3 languages are quite similar, but still there are differences. English is not very common in Bosnia. Of course, you will find people that speak English, especially in the touristy areas, and also the younger generation has it at school. However, we found it really tough to find English-speaking people, especially amongst the older generation and in rural areas. So be prepared, have maybe like some common and basic words in the official language have it with you, or just have your translator on the side to just to make sure you understand each other. Now I want to tell you a little bit about the Bosnian history. Well, Bosnia and Herzegovina used to be part of the socialist state Yugoslavia until 1992. When they broke up, a 3-year war followed. As a consequence of the peace agreement, 2 autonomous entities in Bosnia and Herzegovina were set up. You will find the predominantly Bosniak Croatian Federation, called Federation of Bosnia and Herzegovina, in the north of the country. In the south of Bosnia and Herzegovina, you will find the Serbian part, which is called Republic Srpska. Now I want to give you a few information about the people of Bosnia. Bosnians' population is actually one of the most ethnically diverse in Europe. The major ethnic groups of Bosnia or in Bosnia are the Bosnian Bosniaks, the Bosnian Serbs, and the Bosnian Croats. Be careful, as Bosnian and Bosniak isn't the same. A Bosnian is a person from Bosnia, whereas a Bosniak is an ethnic group Muslim. Now I want to talk about landmines. The 3-year Bosnian War unfortunately left tons of landmines. Even though they put lots of work in removing them, there is still thousands of unexploded landmines within the country. Especially when traveling or wandering off-road, please be very, very careful and just don't put yourself in danger. Where to stay in Bosnia? Most of the locals, they have apartments listed on Airbnb. So in every place that we stayed, we just booked an Airbnb because they had super high standard for a decent rate. Just to give you an idea where we paid 50 euros for an apartment close to Dubrovnik in Croatia, we paid 30 euros in Bosnia for an apartment with the same standard. So Airbnb is a really good option of how to stay in Bosnia and Herzegovina. Now I want to talk about network Wi-Fi reception in Bosnia and Herzegovina. All our Airbnbs, they had super good Wi-Fi. Besides that, we purchased a Bosnian SIM card, got some airtime, also converted some airtime into data, and the reception, I have to say, was decent almost everywhere, also in the rural areas. Now I want to talk about the Bosnian currency exchange money and ATMs. The convertible mark is the currency in Bosnia. In Trebinje, we exchanged money in a petrol station, which was pretty easy and the exchange rate was favorable. In the tourist areas, they accept euros and dollars almost everywhere, but yeah, most of the time is way more expensive paying with it. Also, you shouldn't rely on the locals, especially in the countryside, to accept foreign currencies. If you have a credit card, you can of course also draw money on most ATMs and use the credit card also to pay in some restaurants, hotels and shops, but you must also expect up to 7% in fees. My recommendation, always have like the local currency and like also have some small notes, like have basically a mix of everything. Now I want to talk about the tap water in Bosnia. Tap water is always served on the side with a Bosnian coffee. I found it safe to drink, but if you don't feel comfortable drinking tap water, just rather get bottled water. Another tip regarding the opening hours in Bosnia and Herzegovina, especially me coming from Germany, which like is not allowed to open shops on a Sunday. In Bosnia and Herzegovina, the shops, especially in the bigger cities and towns, were open from Monday to Sunday. Do I need a visa to travel to Bosnia? Although Bosnia is located in Europe, the country is not part of European Union nor of Schengen. Europeans don't need a visa. Like when we traveled there, Europeans didn't need a visa to enter the country, and we could also just use our ID to enter the country. If you're a traveler from outside of Europe, you will definitely have to check if your nationality requires a visa, because there is a lot of nationalities that need one. Is Bosnia safe to travel? Well, we felt really safe traveling Bosnia and Herzegovina. There wasn't a single moment where we felt unsafe. Also, we saw many people hitchhiking, also many tourists basically hitchhiking in Bosnia and Herzegovina, which is for me always an indicator of the safety of a country. However, I mean, there's people trying to take chances all over the world. So in general, when you travel, you must always be careful and use common sense. Now I want to talk about smoking in public spaces and areas. Bosnia and Herzegovina hasn't launched non-smoking areas in restaurants, bars and clubs yet. Smoking is basically allowed everywhere. So when going out, going to a restaurant, especially with kids, you need to be aware of that. So now I just put another list of stuff that you have to do while being in Bosnia and Herzegovina or while visiting Bosnia and Herzegovina. You definitely have to buy some fresh stuff from the local farmers. That ranges from fresh fruits like super amazing honey or even vegetables. Then what you also have to do while visiting Bosnia and Herzegovina, you have to get test one of the Bosnian wines, because Bosnia is also really famous for their wine. You definitely have to check out like a konuba, which is like a local Bosnian bar, which is like perfect to mingle with the locals and to find out more about, like the country, the history and all that kind of stuff. And also what you need to give a try, you must check out those pekara or pekana, which is like a Bosnian bakery. They got also some amazing stuff there which you need to try. And that's it. These are my tips for traveling Bosnia and Herzegovina. I hope you enjoyed that video. Please give it a thumbs up. Also, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. If you have a question that I haven't answered, just leave me a comment below and I'm happy to answer that. Please also check at the video description, because you will find more useful links in there. Yeah, and now happy travels and I will see you soon. Bye.